Back in the summer of 2014, I went camping with 3 close friends in the Cascade Mountains. We were all 17 and thought we were invincible. It was supposed to be our last big trip before senior year. Just the 4 of us, completely off-grid. No cell signal, no parents, no noise but the wind in the trees. We parked at a remote trailhead, hiked in with our gear, and found a perfect clearing near a river bend. It felt untouched, pure. The air smelled like pine and soil, and the silence was like a weight over everything. The first night was amazing. We lit a fire, roasted hot dogs, told ghost stories, typical teenage stuff. At around 2 a.m., I woke up needing to pee. The fire had gone out and the clearing was dark. I stepped out of my tent, walked about 20 or 30 feet toward the edge of the woods, and that's when I heard it. A whistle. Not a bird, not the wind. A long, slow human whistle, clear and intentional. I froze, looked around. I whispered, "Guys, come on, this isn't funny." Silence. Then the whistle came again. This time, it sounded closer. I backed up slowly, heart pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. My breath caught in my throat and I ran back to the tent. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning I told the others. They teased me at first, called it a mountain ghost, or said I probably scared myself in the dark, but that night the joke died quickly. Around midnight, as we were settling in for bed, we heard it. The same whistle, but not just once. It came from the west side of the camp, then another from the east, then one from the north. 3 distinct locations, all around us. We killed the lantern and sat in the dark, listening. For almost 2 hours, the whistles moved around us in slow, deliberate intervals. Every time we thought they were gone, they'd start up again, closer than before. There was something about the pattern that felt wrong, too calculated, like someone, or something, was toying with us. No footsteps, no movement, just the whistle. That night, none of us slept. When dawn finally broke, we rushed to pack. One of my friends, Kyle, pointed something out before we left. High up on a tree near our tents, there was a mark. A small carving, like a spiral or some kind of symbol. Freshly cut. It hadn't been there the day before. We left without looking back. I later read that in some indigenous legends, certain forest spirits mimic sounds, especially whistles, to lure people deeper into the woods. I don't know what we encountered that night, but whatever it was, it didn't want us there. And it let us know. In the fall of 2019, I took a solo camping trip in the Smoky Mountains. I just ended a 6-year relationship and felt like I needed to find myself. Typical, I know. I packed light, tent, food, water filter, journal, and drove 5 hours into the heart of the park. I wanted isolation, peace, something quiet to drown out the noise in my head. I set up camp at a site I found using an old ranger map. It wasn't on any main trail, tucked between 2 ridge lines and surrounded by dense brush. I stayed 2 nights without incident, hiked, wrote in my journal, read by the fire. The kind of quiet that feels rare in life. But on the 3rd night, everything changed. I had just finished boiling water for tea when I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, crunching through leaves just beyond the firelight. I froze. I hadn't seen another human being in days. I whispered, "Hello? Who's there?" No answer. The fire popped loudly, but beyond that, nothing. I grabbed my flashlight and scanned the woods. The beam caught a figure maybe 20 feet away, just beyond the trees. He was tall, wearing a dark jacket, standing perfectly still. I didn't move. Neither did he. Then, after what felt like forever, He turned and disappeared into the woods. I sat by the fire with my knife in hand until it burned out. At some point in the night, I must have dozed off in my tent. When I woke up, the sun wasn't up yet, but I knew something was wrong. My tent flap was unzipped, just a little, but I always zipped it fully. Then I noticed it. Something was placed right outside. A Polaroid photograph, half soaked from the dew. It was a photo of me, taken from behind while I was sitting by the fire. I packed everything in under 10 minutes and hiked 4 miles out with my knife in hand the entire time. I didn't stop once, didn't drink water, didn't look back. I told the rangers, but they didn't find anything. No signs of trespassing, no other campers nearby. To this day, I don't know if it was someone passing through or someone waiting. But now, every time I close a tent, I triple check the zipper. And I don't go camping alone anymore. There's a lake in northern Minnesota, locals call Mirror Lake. It's small, cold year-round, and so still it reflects the sky perfectly. People say it's cursed. Not haunted exactly, but cursed. No one fishes there. No one swims. They say the water doesn't take people, it invites them. When I was 15, my cousins and I used to camp there every summer. We didn't believe the legends. It was just a cool, remote spot where no one bothered us. One year, we got to the site around dusk. The lake looked like glass, the sky orange behind the trees. We set up tents and built a fire on the shore. My cousin Jake joked, "Bet there's a witch under the lake." We all laughed. Later that night, as the fire died down, we heard something. Voice, soft, echoey. "Hello?" We turned toward the trees. Nothing. Then again louder, "Hello." But it wasn't coming from the woods. It was coming from the lake. We stood there in silence. Then Jake grabbed a flashlight and walked toward the water. The beam stretched out over the black surface, and something moved under it. A ripple, like someone swimming just beneath the surface. We told ourselves it was a beaver or fish, even though this lake never had fish. We eventually went to bed, all packed into one tent. Around 3 a.m., we woke up to whispers, multiple voices circling the tent. Not in English, not in any language I knew. We unzipped the flap and stepped outside. Footprints, bare, dozens of them, wet prints in the dirt, all around our camp, leading from the lake and back to it. But no one in sight. Jake wanted to leave. We all did. But it was still dark, and hiking out through the woods at night didn't feel smart. So we sat around the fire, knives in our laps, until sunrise. That morning, Jake said we should go back the next week. He wanted to debunk it, said maybe some local kids were messing with us. We went, just the two of us this time. That night, Jake went to sleep early. I stayed up, watching the lake. I must have dozed off in my chair because when I woke up, Jake was gone. His tent was zipped. No blood. No struggle. But down at the shore, I saw one set of wet footprints leading into the water. They were his. They never found him. No body, no signs. Just a sleeping bag and one boot by the shore. I've told this story dozens of times, no one believes it. But I know what I saw, and I'll never go near Mirror Lake again. If you made it this far, thank you for camping with me through the darkness. Sometimes the most terrifying stories aren't the ones from fiction. They're the ones that happen when no one else is around. No cell service, no lights, just you, the trees, and the sound of something watching from just beyond the firelight. If these stories sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to like this video, share it with your bravest friends, and subscribe for more real horror told in voices that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. But now it's your turn. Have you ever experienced something you can't explain while out in the wild? A voice you couldn't place, a shadow that moved when no one else should have been there? Or maybe you too have left a campsite in a panic, feeling like something followed you home. Share your true camping horror story in the comments below, or send it in privately. Who knows, your story might be featured in an upcoming episode. Until then, keep your fire burning, your tent zipped tight, and always, always trust your instincts out there in the woods. Because sometimes, nature isn't the scariest thing waiting for you in the dark.